Okay, so let's talk about it. I almost said let's go to the Matlala Commission of Inquiry. No. We are going to Hoshimampuru Maximum Prison, where day two of Kat Matala appearing before the ERA committee. And the subtleness of the bombs that are being dropped by Kat Matala. I mean, it goes to show what I was saying in my other video about him and his IQ. I'm wondering how high his IQ is actually. I suspect somewhere around 130. I know that's almost like the genius, like borderline genius type of situation. The way he is doing it, and you have to pay attention to Kat Matlala. You cannot listen to Kat Matlala on the face of it, as in the legal fraternity they'll say prima facie. You really need to listen to get the message of what he is actually saying. For example, which by the way, in as much as I feel terrible for Jerry Bashoka's family, particularly his mother, I'm not sorry about other things that are actually happening to him, because at the end of the day, natural justice will catch up with you when you are causing pain to other families because of the business you are in. I know these are allegations, but we are dealing with an accusation that was leveled on the 6th of July 2025 by Janet Latlam. I have no reason to doubt what Janet Latlam revealed, because, hey, look what is going on now. A judge yesterday was arrested, appeared before a court, and was sent home, I think, with 15,000 Rand bail. And there are other things as well. If you go to Ekuruleni, now we see or heard that what's his name again? Julius Mkwanazi is like, hang on a minute, I need to try and get myself together. Can I come next week? Those are the things that emanated from the 6th of July. So whatever that Kat Matlala is dropping as a bombshell on Jerry Poshoka, I believe it. But do I believe that he is not responsible for the disappearance of Jerry Poshoka? No. And I'll tell you why. Because again, you need to listen critically to what Kat Matlala is saying. When the part or the segment about Jerry Poshoka came up, he stuttered. He was stuttering, but subtly. You would not catch that this man, in his head, he is literally thinking, what is my next response to this question about Jerry? But I think he got what you would call a leeway or some sort of a break when the PKTT came to his house to raid it on the 6th of December 2024, basically looking for Jerry Poshoka. And my question is, does he have bunkers? Because a person of this character, especially one that I still think that his plan was Pinky and the Brain, him being the brain, wants to conquer the law enforcement agency of this country, including the judiciary, including anything that has to do with safety and security of this country, to make it so weak that we actually are one of those South American countries where the drug cartel are actually in charge of the country, and they are in charge of the president of the country to protect them. And I guess they also pick and choose who can be the next president type of situation. I think Kat Matala was on that wavelength, that no, I'm going to capture this country, and this is how I'm going to become not just a billionaire, probably a trillionaire. And along the way, I'm sorry, and along the way, I am also going to cause pain and suffering to anybody that stands in my way. Unfortunately, that plan definitely did collapse. And I think him mentioning meeting Untlantlam Kwanazi, which I don't think that is actually true. He is just upset in Untlantlam Kwanazi for disturbing his plans. And so he's like, oh, your hero by the way, I met him, and these are the conversations that we had, and there is no proof. I mean, he does admit that there were no WhatsApp messages, there are no call trails to say that indeed they did meet. So right now, this is just, I can't even say it's hearsay. I would say this is him just being spiteful towards Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi, because Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi wouldn't have done what he did on the 6th of July when he knew very well that what he's saying might bounce back and then he will be discredited by his own work on the 6th of July. So I don't believe that, just like I don't believe the children being thrown on the floor by the police. I don't also believe that he has no hand in Jerry Poshoka's disappearance. Which, by the way, I think Jerry no longer exists. I mean, like, he's a goner. I mean, we did hear from his mom that he does struggle with a chronic illness that he has to take medication for periodically. So without that medication, while he's held captive, obviously he's going to have some kind of shock on his body, and then his vitals are going to fail, and that will be the end. So I think even if he is not going to admit that he may have a hand in the disappearance of his friend, and I think it has to do with money, and I think it also has to do with Jerry Poshoka probably threatening to take over the cartel, because as you guys know, if you manufacture, I don't know that you know, I don't know either, but we watch movies anyways, that drug cartels, not the drug cartels, those that manufacture these narcotics, they turn out to be the ones that are the bosses, the real bosses. And I think Kat Matlala's vision may have been threatened by Jerry Poshoka's. Probably he was beginning to rise as a prominent person when it comes to these narcotics and things of that nature. And I'm saying, get the brother, not in the error committee. Please don't get him in the error committee. Either arrest him and then he speaks on the stand, or he goes to Matlala Commission of Inquiry, where he is going to tell the story that Kat Matala is telling about Jerry going to collect, which I don't think that's the truth. He's going to collect a drum of some sort for raw materials to manufacture narcotics and things of that nature. And I also seen action essay, what's her name again? Miss James, not Adams, Miss James, getting a little bit emotional. And I must say something that is frustrating me about the error committee members. Aren't they going to have a chance to cross-examine Kat Matala? Because the questions that they're asking him, whether it's for clarity, because you still have an opportunity. And when you do this, I'm trying to understand, like, I'm not a psychologist or anything like that, but sometimes you need to get into the criminal mind. And I'm not accusing the error committee members of being criminals, but sometimes you just need to get into the strategy. What is exactly the strategy? Because I'm beginning to look at those errors. Actually, I have been doing that for quite a while. It was also quite interesting, I must say this one, where Kat Matala addressed the chair of the committee, and I think he called the other ones members of parliament or something like that, and then Julius Julius Malema correcting him and say on I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. He's like, no, we are honorable members. And I'm like, what happened in the Eastern Cape so long ago with the pew pew in the air during come on, people. I feel like this terminology, honorable, in that parliament, seriously, come on. You can't make this issue up, guys. You just cannot. We are honorable members. And then poor Kat Matala had to apologize. And by saying poor, I don't mean like in a, oh, shame. It's just an expression. He had to apologize and say honorable members. And I'm like, I would have understood if that came from Ungola. Say, oh, sorry, we are addressed as honorable. Oh, God. Senzenina. But anyways, going back to Kat Matlala because they're about to come back from lunch. Mm, no, sir. I think you are still telling truths and half truths and no truths at all. The SMS thing, I'm very interested to hear how this was manufactured. The conversation between yourselves and Bram Hote. But also, I'm also going to be making reference of the Senzo Meyiwa murder trial, where Vusimuzi said, hang on a minute, on this particular day, Sergeant Muhola came and asked for my, what do you call this, access pin into my phone, and next thing there's Umkulu. Yeah, and then it does leave a footprint when that change or that addition was made in a timestamp, which will have the date and the time and things like that. And if Kat Matala can prove this, that when he was arrested on the 14th of May, and then on the 15th of May, his cell phone is still on, and now there are SMSs or WhatsApp messages that and screenshots that he knows nothing about, and some of them are in Afrikaans, then that is the modus operandi of the police, it would seem, if they really want to win a case. And I'll be so disappointed if the PKTT was also like Wokininda type of situation. But then again, this is the South African Police Service. It seems like that's how they solve matters to win or have a successful prosecution. So I'm glad that what's his name, Kat Matala, is disputing. Not that glad he's disputing, but at least he's giving us some food for thought. That yes, can we get an expert, because that's what it's calling, get an expert in data collection and all of that stuff, who also can tell when something is manipulated from cell phones, computers, and things of that nature. And he also made an allegation that AI was used during the search and seizure that took place on the 6th of December, where we heard in the Matlala Commission of Inquiry, not the 500,000 rand going to Bekitele, but going to Senzo Mchunu for his presidential ambitions type of situation, which it was quite confusing for me. I was like, was I hearing things? No, I was not hearing things. And on top of that, the video that I think it also threw him off on General Sibiya's home type of situation. And he says it's irrelevant to him to be shown. And I think, to me, he was saying, okay, if there's a, then everything else that I said here, which is a lie, it's now found out type of situation. But now he's challenging the audio. He says that it was manipulated, therefore saying that AI was used. And I did say this before, showing you, I think it was the Daily Maverick that did a showdown about campaigns that are just popping on social media. And one of them was Senzo Mchunu's being painted as this holier than thou person. You could tell that it was conditioning South Africans that this is your next president and you need to start now to support him. But most importantly, speaking to the members, branch members of the ANC, because they are the ones that actually choose the president. And if the ANC wins the elections in 2029, which I don't think that will ever happen again, then Senzo Mchunu becomes the president of the Republic of South Africa. While some are actually going to Russia, goodness gosh, what are your guys planning? Nenzani lapho? Yini leniyenzayo lapho? Because hey, kunesobho nje thizeni that you guys are busy with, and I'm very interested to hear. Are we to expect a coup d'etat? Is that what we are being told? But I guess when these 17 people come back home, they might actually paint a better picture. And allegedly, there was a conversation between Musen Ndlozi and the family members. I didn't see or hear that. But anyways, whatever that is. Anyways, those are my thoughts when it comes to Kat Matala. And once again, Kat Matala is proving to me that he is indeed a smart guy, very intelligent, and he's in control. By the way, he's fully in control of the ad hoc committee. Yes, he's still to be cross-examined by the ad hoc committee members. Is he gonna crack under them? I don't think so. That is why I feel the Matlala Commission of Inquiry was the best place for him, because it would have been Kudemaniginik type of situation. Zindala Zombili. But these are people that are asking frivolous questions, which they still have the opportunity to cross-examine him at the end of the day. And now the evidence leader has run out of time because of these disturbances. And that is why I'm saying now one has to apply their mind when a ad hoc committee member distracts with a question, and when you listen to the question, you're like, what exactly are you asking? That is why Kat Matala keeps asking, what are you saying? Yeah, that's circus. Anyways, let me leave this video right here. Let me know what your thoughts are. And once again, I am so sorry, guys. My comment section is problematic. I'm not ignoring you, but I do take screenshots and then I will respond to that. I hope that is enough. I have sent emails numerous times to YouTube like, hey, please help me out here. All right. Anyways, let me leave it here and we'll see each other later. Goodbye.